Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be looking at the words of Hansi Flick and as well the words of Ronald Araujo as they both spoke in the press conference leading up to Barcelona's huge match against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey Final. And towards the end of the video, I do want to be talking about this whole drama that has emerged recently in the last couple of hours in regards to the referees and their conflict with Real Madrid and basically the overall drama that's surrounding this game in regards to the referees. But as always, guys, make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. And then the link to become a member is also posted down below. Just click the link and you will become a member, have access to some exclusive perks as well. But guys, let's get started with the video. All right, guys, let's get started with the video and let's look at the words from Hansi Flick leading up, to Barcelona's game tomorrow, which is going to be deciding another trophy. Now, I don't want to be talking about the whole referees just yet because I want to leave that towards the end of the video where I can talk about that, give a detailed breakdown. I want to first look at the words from Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick, he talks about the referees actually, and he says, "I don't know what to say about the referees. It's a sport, it's a game. Our responsibility is to protect the players. It's not right to talk. There are emotions. We have to take care of the referees. We can't disrespect them. Everyone, clubs, players, and coaches." Hansi Flick talks about the tactical plan. He says, "We always adapt the match plan based on the type of match and the opponent. Nothing more than that. It will be the same this time." Hansi Flick, he continues on. He talks about past Real Madrid encounters. Obviously, Barcelona absolutely blowing Real Madrid out of the water. And he says, "It's in the past. We have to focus on the now. Enjoy the final. Madrid has a fantastic team and can't hurt us. I want to see my team fighting to win this title." He talks about the euphoria among, the Barcelona fans. And obviously, all of us, we're feeling confident. We're in a good mood. Barcelona, they're in a good momentum. They're in a good period right now. Real Madrid, they're not, obviously. And so a lot of Barcelona fans, they are confident in the ability to win the title tomorrow. He says, "For me, the important thing is to respect the opponent. Real Madrid is a great team and a great club, but we want to win. We want this title. We don't talk about other things." Hansi Flick, he gives insight on who's going to be starting in the number 9 position and as well in the left back position. And he says, "Ferran, he's already shown how well he plays there. Against Betis, against Valencia in the Copa del Rey. It's a good position for him. Lewandowski doesn't play, but that doesn't affect either Lamine or Rafinha's style of play." He says on who will be starting at left back. He says, "We'll see tomorrow." Now, this is very interesting because, Barcelona, Hansi Flick, he's genuinely been very trusting of Gerard Martin. Gerard Martin has been playing every single game in which Alejandro Balde has not been available. And Hansi Flick, could he have possibly, entered some doubt on who could be playing there? Because even though, Hector Ford, he did make a couple mistakes, in Barcelona's previous game, he put in a very solid performance for someone who hasn't been involved much throughout the season. But, I think this is just Hansi Flick, keeping his cards close to him and not really, giving it away. I think it's most likely going to be Gerard Martin. I think Barcelona are going to go very, very strong, the strongest possible lineup that we can possibly field. I think a lot of them can basically field itself. You're going to have Szczesny, Gerard Martin, Pau Cubarsí, Nico Martinez, Koundé. In the midfield, Pedri, Frenkie de Jong. Up top, Lamine, Olmo, Rafinha, and Ferran. I think that's going to be the lineup. But it's interesting to see if Hansi Flick maybe tries to experiment and maybe has Dani Olmo in the 9 and Gavi in the 10, where he has sort of a diamond in midfield, something very similar to what Real Madrid did last season. That's going to be something interesting, but I doubt that's going to happen. But continuing on, guys, Hansi Flick, he now talks about the possibility of facing Inter. He's asked about that. He says, "We'll see. It's very positive to be able to play in the final. We want to be there. That's how we experienced it." And in regards to that, I want to focus on the game that Barcelona they have upcoming. Obviously, we want to be Inter, who are not going through a very good period of form due to the losses against Bologna, as well as the 3-0 loss against Milan. But Ronald Araujo, he was involved in the press conference as well. He talks about the treble. He says the team is doing very well. That's clear. We're capable of achieving anything, but we have to take it one game at a time. The mentality got us here. Absolutely. I want to focus on the now. Obviously, we want to win that illustrious, treble. But the thing is, we have to take each game as it comes. We want to focus on the games that we have ahead and not get too ahead of ourselves. Ronald Araujo, he talks about the past El Clásicos, and he says it will be a completely different game than the ones we've played. We want to be the protagonist with the ball, going for the game, and winning it is the most important thing. He says winning a title is also important, and even more so against your biggest rival. But if it doesn't happen, we'll keep going for the rest. The mentality is to go for it all, and I like that. Obviously, we want to win. We're confident that we can do it, but if we don't, we still have two major competitions that we still are competing for and that we want to win as well. Ronald Araujo, he talks about the mood. And he says, I'm more about motivation than euphoria. We're aware of the responsibility that comes with representing this club. We're playing against Madrid, a great team with great players. It will be very difficult. We have to take it with humility. We don't constantly talk about the treble. We have fun training and playing. And obviously, you're looking at the words from Ronald Araujo, throughout this press conference, and he's respectful. He's respectful. He talks about Real Madrid. He says it's a great team with great players, great coach. We were respectful of them. He's obviously aware of the noise that is surrounding the club in regards to the pressure, treble. But he responds to that and say, hey, we are aware that we can do that, but we're taking the game at the games as it comes. And obviously Barcelona confident in their ability to win tomorrow, and let's see what happens. But now, guys, I want to be moving on. I want to be talking about the big topic of today's video, because before I was only going to make and look at the quotes from both Ronald Araujo and as well from Hansi Flick, but in the past couple of hours the game has some drama has emerged just solely from the side of Real Madrid in regards to this El Clasico. Now, I'm going to summarize the situation. Shout out to Barca Buzz for just summarizing it and having everything right there. But it's as follows. So Real Madrid, throughout the week, they've been having sort of a smear campaign. They've been releasing videos on Real Madrid TV attacking the Burgos Bengoechea, which is going to be the referee for tomorrow's match. Now, Real Madrid, they accuse the referee, who is going to be playing tomorrow, of being biased by highlighting the fact that Barcelona, they have a higher win percentage in El Clásicos whenever he officiates. Now, here's the thing. That stat necessarily, that doesn't mean that he's just biased. It just simply means that whenever he has been involved, Barcelona, they win more. Now, that does not mean that he is favoring Barcelona. It could just be meaning that in those occasions where he has refereed, Barcelona, they've just been the victor. That's not necessarily an indication of him actually having any impact in the results. First of all, that's flawed. Real Madrid's point. The second thing is that Real Madrid, they've been taking digs at his efficiency, stating how he's never officiated FIFA matches and UCL games, and they've also pointed out mistakes in his official career. The refereeing team, they had a press conference before the match, and they basically hit back, and you saw a very emotional Bengoechea, which I want to be showing you guys the video very soon. But he says how his family was affected, about how the refereeing team, they weren't going to be allowing this propaganda to affect them. And Real Madrid right now, they're basically upset in regards to how the referees, they're handling the situation, and they want them to apologize, and they were threatening to even forfeit the match. But Real Madrid, they have come out and they've basically denied that. Real Madrid, this is their official statement, and they said Real Madrid considers the public statements made today by the referees designated for the Copa del Rey Final, scheduled to be held tomorrow, April the 26th, 2025, to be unacceptable. These protests, which have surprisingly focused attention on videos from a media outlet protected by freedom of expression, such as Real Madrid TV, deliberately carried out 24 hours earlier against one of the finals participants, demonstrate once again the clear and manifest animosity and hostility of these referees towards Real Madrid. Even more surprising statements in a threatening tone alluding to the referee's unity were used to announce alleged measures or actions that fall far short of the principles of fairness, objectivity and impartiality that should prevail just hours before a football event that captures the attentions of hundreds of millions of people around the world. Given the seriousness of what happened, Real Madrid hopes that those responsible for the RFEF and the refereeing body will act accordingly, adopting the necessary measures to defend the prestige of the institutions they represent. Now, it's absolutely crazy how Real Madrid right now they're basically crying in this statement. They have this smear campaign against the referee Borgos Becochea, and then they're complaining that the referees, they're saying, hey, we're not going to be allowing Real Madrid to have videos attacking our referees, and there are going to be consequences for that. That is absolutely ridiculous. And guys, do you guys remember a couple of weeks ago when Real Madrid knocked out Atletico Madrid in the UCL? And of course, the whole scandal about the penalties, it was coming out, so some people were saying, the Julian Alvarez penalty should have stood. Others saying, no, it shouldn't have stood. Thibaut Courtois, at the end of that match, he says, enough crying about the referees. I'm tired of it. How hypocritical can you be? How, I would say, just out of the loop, out of reality can you be? How can you guys be out there crying about the referees in this situation when just a couple of weeks ago, you've had statements like this, not only from Thibaut Courtois, but you have statements from Dani Ceballos, from basically the entire Real Madrid squad, just saying, hey, stop crying about the referees. Real Madrid, they won. Winning is what matters. It's simple as that. I just say grow up. This is absolutely shameless from Real Madrid. And there's reports that were coming out that says, Real Madrid, they're doing all of this noise and drama just to heat up the atmosphere leading to the final. And obviously, if Barcelona, they do win, to say, oh, it was his fault. It's because of his decisions that have led to Barcelona, winning the Copa del Rey Final, and not because of our own necessarily flaws or weaknesses in our own game. And guys, I want to show you, Borgos Becochea's press conference, because he got very emotional, and he basically broke down in tears when discussing this instance. And I want to show you it to you guys right here. Let me share my tab, and I want to show you. So here we go. Play it.
Well, we're focusing a lot on real and TV videos. The truth is that's what's having the most impact. I'm not going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you about situations that have happened to my colleagues, and then you can give me your opinion because I want you to answer me. When your son goes to school and there are children who tell him that his father is a thief and he comes home crying, that's really tough. Well, what I do in my case is try to educate my son, okay? To tell him that his father is honest, above all honest, that he makes mistakes like any other athlete, okay? And that's really tough, huh? I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but the day I leave here I want my son to be proud of what his father was and what refereeing is. Because refereeing has given us many values and that's not fair. What we're going through, many colleagues, not in professional football, because this affects our families, but especially in grassroots football. So, let everyone reflect on where we want to go and what we want from sports and football, okay? I would just like you to know.
Okay, so that was Beroche, discussing and having that conversation in his press conference. And of course, you can see him get very emotional right there. You see him get very emotional. He talks about, how kids are basically calling his father, how things are now affecting his actual personal life. And this is all coming from, the pressure that is imposed on referees. Now, I understand how people are frustrated at referees because Barcelona. I complain about referees, guys. I say the referees in La Liga, they're not good whatsoever. They just are not good. But the thing is, you can't go and now actually attack the referees and try to impose and actually affect their personal life. That's absolutely pathetic from Real Madrid. They've gone to a point where they're now obviously having these campaigns where they are having these videos attacking the referees, and overall it's very pathetic from Real Madrid. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys make of this whole refereeing drama, and what are your thoughts? And actually, And I also want to hear your score predictions down below. How do you guys think that Barcelona are going to do in tomorrow's match? Hopefully, Barcelona they have that victory and we were able to lift that title. But as always, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.